ever found yourself in a job that just doesn't feel like it's the right fit, but you also know now really isn't the right time to walk away? And maybe it's because of a new baby, family responsibilities, or just life not lining up with your career.
We have all been there, stuck in that in between space where leaving feels impossible, but staying feels really heavy. Today, we're going to talk about how to navigate those seasons with intention because sometimes the boldest move you can make is waiting. Good morning, good afternoon. Hello to everyone out there. Welcome to another episode of Secrets in Medical Device Sales, brought to you by the Girls of Grit. We are so excited to talk about today's episode because you guys actually asked us, you wrote in and asked us a question specifically to your situation. And so we're just excited to be answering it today.
And we love that you do that because so much of what we do out in the field, we see and we know. And this particular question, Lisa and I were just kind of laughing like, wow, this comes up so often. I've had experiences with moments like this. Lisa has. So
Yep.
I just think that it's really fun. Thank you for tuning in. So, Lisa, why don't you tell our listeners what we were asked and what the whole topic of today is about?
Oh, yes. Let me pull it up really quickly. Hang on a minute, Cindy. Let me pull it
Good.
up.
I love this. You're not
All
going
right,
to,
here we
read
go.
it.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I would love to hear an episode with you and Cindy on how navigating a role or a company that just isn't the right fit right now, but I know that I need to stay given my circumstances that they are right now. I think that would be really helpful for a lot of us. So,
Wow.
what exactly is this subscriber, this listener asking us, Cindy? And I think for me, I have something that I want to back this up with, but why don't you expand on this a little bit for our listeners?
Well, I think that the question that we interpret, and please let us know if we are interpreting this wrong, but it's that, okay, I'm in a job, which most likely is medical device, it might be sales. So you're in a current role and it's not your favorite. Maybe you want to do more. Maybe some people are holding you back from doing more. Maybe you find it too easy. Maybe you find it too hard. And I think where she's sitting is thinking that, okay, this is not where I want to be forever, but for whatever life reason is on her plate, that temporarily or for the time being, however long that time is, it's in her best career interest to stay where she is now to be able to move on in the future. So I think there's a lot of factors that go into as we progress in our career, what we choose, why are we in jobs? And, the majority of us are women, right? And I'm just going to say it. It might be different for a man. A man may graduate from college, or I was no, let me use this reference because this is a true story. I was talking to somebody who has a child graduating from law school and is a female. So as a male, you could go anywhere in the country. This is the best job. This is the job I want to take. But the female is engaged and has a family. It's like, why females always have to weigh more decisions about their job. It's
Oh
not
my
just about the
gosh.
job.
It's so true. It's so true, Cindy. And like for me, I'm thinking of when I had a baby. I wanted to move. I was offered a certain position, but I couldn't go because I had just had a baby. Where if I was a man, he'd be like, okay, well, you're going to come with me and we're going to take the kids and here we go. And so it's such a dilemma, especially when we're women in male dominated industries. We're high performers, but we still feel that tug, right? We still feel that calling to quote unquote do the right thing. Or maybe this family event, this circumstance that she's under, maybe somebody's sick and she really can't leave them. Like a parent when they're aging, you have to be mindful of other situations. So I think this is such a great topic to talk about today, Cindy, because I will tell you, I'm really not good at this. I literally am like, oh, great, the next opportunity, here we come, and I'm just going to make it fit. And I think our secret today also weighs into this so well. So anyhow, I'm really glad we're talking about it because the truth is everybody always talks about the big leap, the big jump, the big promotion, but nobody ever talks about the people that actually stay in their jobs, that are the 9-to-5ers, or not 9-to-5ers, but the people that aren't leaving. They're there for the long haul. and they're the ones that are keeping it all together. Nobody ever talks about that. So I'm really glad that we're talking about this today because I think it's important, especially in medical devices.
I agree. You're right. Nobody does talk about this, but sometimes the smartest move is to not move. And it's not
Mhm.
always just about something within the job that you're doing. Sometimes it's more about your life circumstances. And so bigger questions come to mind. It's not just, oh, I want to go work for, maybe you want to work for a big company, or maybe you're medical device sales and you started out with maybe a disposable type commodity, and now you want to go into the OR. Well, maybe the question is, do I want to go into the OR now, or do I continue to do what I'm doing and go in the
Mm.
OR later? So actually, I'm going to bring that up right now because that's kind of my story. I remember my girls were teenagers, and I knew as I climbed the ladder of medical device that I really wanted to be in the OR. It's just something that always interests me. I wanted that clinical challenge. What should I say? The fast pace, but also the
Hmm.
rewards that come along with it. And at the time, my husband's a firefighter, so he works 24-hour shifts. We have no family here. My girls couldn't drive yet. So for me, it became, let me pull the multifactorial things into a position. I stayed in a job. My job was fine. I hit a point after so many years doing a job where I wasn't as challenged. But then I just told myself, well, I'm going to do the best I can where I am because I know I can seat myself in a really good position for a future job. So I think that that's just kind of my story. This is what I'm interpreting from what she wrote in. So I think that we can really expand on this and just to understand that if you don't go do that big leap, I like that how you said that, that big leap to that next
Yeah.
job that's so exciting to talk about. Like you're not stuck, you're not a failure, you're not lessening yourself. You might actually be doing something even better for yourself.
That's so well said. I mean, it truly could be very strategic. And you never know, maybe that next leap actually isn't for you, right? And thank goodness you did stay. I think one of the things, and I'll just say why this is such a hard decision or it feels so heavy on a lot of us, isn't just because of the fact that you're not taking the job, but it's like you think to yourself, am I losing momentum? If I stay in this current role or I stay with this current company, am I not going to be valued as much? Am I not going to be as sellable, quote unquote, to other companies if I stay here so long? They're going to be like, oh, well, they're such a solid rep for that company. They'll never leave. So then I don't even get the calls. So it's like you feel this sense that you want to take it, but you know deep down it's not the right time. And I think this is when your gut really kicks in and you have to trust it and say, you know what, it truly isn't the right time. But man, Cindy, that is so hard. And girl, I can tell you, I am not good at that at all. That is not my forte. I have zero time for that.
I know what you mean because it's almost, I mean, I guess you can call it like an identity thing. Like you say, oh, I am a medical device OR rep. Like that's what I want to be. That's where I want to go.
Yeah.
And you and I are wired very much alike. We are very driven. We love to see a big challenge. We want that big stage. We want to prove ourselves. We want to say, oh, I could do this. And I think we spend so much time chasing career, like we want this in our career, we want this now, but it doesn't mean that you can't chase it. Our conversation today is letting you know it's okay to pause and make that next leap, maybe even a better leap.
Oh, I love that. You know, the other thing that this person wrote back to me after I said, for sure, we're going to do an episode on this is they said, it makes me feel ungrateful. And I'm like,
Oh,
you're not ungrateful. You want more. There's nothing wrong with wanting more for yourself. Like you said, Cindy, we want fast pace. A lot of people thrive in it. That's why medical device reps that are so good do really well and others don't because it's cutthroat, it's high stakes, it's high rewards, but it's high stress. And if you're in a position right now where maybe you're not getting what you need, sure, that can make you feel like you want more. And yet you feel ungrateful because you got in and somebody else didn't, because medical devices is also a really hard industry to get into. But I think I want to make sure that they understand don't feel ungrateful, that you're not ungrateful. You just want more. And there's nothing wrong with wanting more. But I also think what you said is correct. Being strategic and having this secret that we should reveal
yes,
is, I think, what's so important when you're faced with this kind of situation.
absolutely. And our secret will wash away any guilt you have when you think about what you're doing. So, the secret that we are talking about today is patience. And let
Oh,
me tell you, it is a virtue That
It
is
is a
very hard for
virtue.
me.
It's a
I
virtue.
like when somebody doesn't put
Oh,
the brakes on, it's so hard. I'm like, why? Why? What do you mean? I have to stop. What do you mean I have to be patient? Like patience is not one of
no.
my virtues. It's
Oh,
not.
girl. Not mine either. Somebody told me never pray to God for patience. Do you know I've never done that? Not once. Because I'm like, no, I can't. I'm so scared.
And when I think back, like I talked about, I stayed in a job and I want to say it's like a little more patient. I think that a lot of times you just have to focus on what's really going well. When you put everything on what this next leap is, and that you don't want to make yourself feel guilty, that maybe you don't do it, you really got to look at what you are doing. Let's just kind of talk about this and framing it as the timing of doing this versus what's fit. You know what I mean? So to kind of
Yeah.
break it down between doing something because you think you should and doing something that may feel like you are not doing what you should be doing,
Mm.
and being okay to like stay somewhere that's not your forever home.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was so eloquently said because you're right. It may not be your forever home. And I think something that's really important to remember is, and we talked about this is a long career. You're probably in a situation right now that isn't going to last for forever. If you're having a baby, well, the baby grows up. If it's a parent, well, maybe you need to move them to a different facility or, you're going to get in-home health care, whatever it is. And I don't want to mean to make light of that, but what I'm trying to get at is there are
Life
seasons for everything.
events.
Yes, life events. And there are seasons for everything. And I
I love
think,
that.
and this is really hard, but I think sometimes when you do stay at the same place, that's your room to really grow because now maybe you can go into a different avenue in that same position and maybe get fed a different way for a little while you're taking care of that season, whatever that season is. And again, it's not going to be forever. And no opportunity is gone. Please understand that there will be more opportunities, especially if you're a high performer and you are doing well in the current position. You're still going to get offers in the future. So don't feel like it's an all or nothing thing or, now or never. I think that's really important to understand and just remember that. I mean, I totally forget that.
Oh, yes. Well, like you said, there's going to be more opportunities. Well, let's just kind of talk a little bit about how you navigate while you're staying put so you can have those opportunities. Because staying put doesn't mean being stagnant. Staying put
Right.
doesn't mean sitting still and going through the motions. No. I mean, you show up your best every day in whatever situation you are in. And so really reframe that. That, like you said, look for opportunities. Maybe you can even promote from within. Maybe you can even expand. Maybe even if, let's just say that you're a rep in a medical device role and you're not all that excited about it. Well, why don't you talk about being a trainer? Why don't you look and see if you can learn more? Give back to some of those who are coming in and teaching. Sometimes something as simple as that changes your view of things. But the grass is not always greener elsewhere. You got to mow the lawn first
I
and then
love that.
decide. But like just reframe and re energize as long as you're not just staying somewhere toxic. That's not what we're really talking about today. And I kind of feel like I should probably touch on that. There's a lot of people that are in jobs that they're unhappy in. The conversation today is more about when career advancement, career changing is an option. It's on the table and you're kind of weighing your pros and cons. So, like, how do we really navigate where we are
Yeah.
for future opportunities?
Well, and I feel like sometimes when you're holding steady in a place, you're not just continually moving to a different job with a different set of expectations and a different set of products or whatever it is. You actually have the time to hone and sharpen your skills. And you have time to really build your own personal character during
So
those
true.
times. And you know what else? Sometimes when you sit back and you really have the patience, sometimes you're able to see solutions to other problems that you might not have figured out before, but now you're not distracted by a new job and new products and new people, but you're in the place where you've been for a while. And now you're able to solve problems that maybe you wouldn't have been able to solve before.
And you can make a name for yourself. Like you can have a good reputation. You can take a job that may be stagnant. But what if you became the best at being in the stagnant job? Everybody would know, oh, she was great at this. She did that. And that's what you want because companies are going to see you're doing well and they're going to come to you. And depending on your life situation, whether it's time to go at that time, great. If not, then always doing your best. And then I think this. So I think something that's really important while you're navigating staying put is to set boundaries for yourself, to be kind of aware of what's important where you are. Do your best where you are. If you allow yourself to feel guilty, to feel drained about, oh, I should have gone to this, all
Yeah.
your energy is not going to be where it needs to be. And maybe you're in a job that is, in my mind, I'm kind of thinking as she wrote into this, as she was looking to really step up to the next level of medical
Mm-hmm.
device,
Mm-hmm.
which would be phenomenal when it's the right time. Because let's just take a pause for a moment. Let's say you're just ignoring all the other situations in your life. You think this is the great movie, just got to do it now. And then you go there and you're miserable and you hate it and life still happens. So you may be feeling guilty over nothing. You may be wasting this negative energy thinking I should have done that when everything happens for a reason and you're making a plan as you
100%.
go.
You're so right. Cindy, you're so right. And another thing that I think goes along with that is so you appreciate where you're at, you hone and sharpen your skills, you problem solve, you look for new avenues, maybe even look for a promotion within the company that you're in, but you can also prepare for your next chapter while you're doing this job. And I'm not saying you're on autopilot, but in this season of waiting, of being patient, of understanding that this life circumstance isn't going to allow you to take the next leap for this new job or new opportunity and you need to stay put, doesn't mean you don't stop looking, doesn't mean you don't stop honing who you are and what you want to move into next. And maybe you do more research and you figure out that company that you thought you might be interested in actually isn't great at all.
Mhm.
Or you look into new avenues while you're in your current job and teach yourself, maybe talk to other reps, meet new surgeons. I mean, you can still be starting to think about your future without leaving your current position. And you're just kind of preparing for that next chapter.
That being said, think about in this current job doing as well as you can so you can build a brag book.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Go get this next award, go after the next incentive, get up
Hmm.
on President's Club, get up on stage and start keeping track. Write that down. Keep a written documentation if you're ranked number one and number 10. So sometimes being the big fish in the little pond is really great
Right.
and make it to your best because what you can do is show what you're capable of, show how you can build. That prepares you for the next chapter, which may be more exciting, it may be harder, but guess what? The skills you're doing now will transform for you in the future. Think of it like charging a battery. You need to sit on it for a little bit, charge it really good. Sometimes you don't see anything happening, but you're ready to rock and roll. I think it's really crazy to say sometimes staying still in your job is one of the most energetic drivers to your career future.
That's such a great point, Cindy. And I think, look, everything is a building block in medical devices and in life, right? Every season of life, every change in your life, your jobs, your promotions, the companies you work for, the products you sell, the people you meet, the connections you make, everything is a building block. So even if you're in a situation where you're not feeling 100% from that job, look at it like another stepping stone, take what you can from it, and maybe get what you need out of something else. I don't know, find a hobby or do something that you can give back. And then you never know what kind of connection you're going to make there either. But it's like, instead of worrying so much about not taking the next step, kind of enjoy where you're at. Holy cow, medical devices is a tough field. I mean, we're running and gunning a lot. Maybe take the time to take a break or just kind of cruise and build upon that versus always worry about going. So,
Well,
um,
that is so, oh my gosh. I'm just sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, one thing I remember of when I was in the job that wasn't as challenging. I
yeah,
mastered it. I really did well. But you know what? If you listen to some of our other episodes, one thing Lisa and I really try to teach is efficiency and being efficient. And so when I was in that job, I was able to train for an Ironman triathlon. And so I used to get stressed and that to be able to go run long distance, swim and bike long distance burned a lot of energy or a lot of stress. But then I also had the capability to time block my day to be able to work out, do my job, and do it well. And guess what? Still see my family. And the whole reason for me, my personal situation, the story I mentioned, was about the season of my life with my children, that I
yeah.
wasn't ready to leave them every night. I wasn't ready to be called in. I wasn't ready to spend nights out and travel. But guess what? I prepared for it. It came and it got here and it's great.
Love that story. That's so good. And still, I can't believe you did a real Ironman. It's unbelievable. So, you know what? Let's wrap up. Let's talk about this situation. Again, thank you so much for writing into us and asking us this really pertinent question that I feel like a lot of us, probably all of us, will face at some point, especially women, if we're having babies or just life changing events in general. It becomes a real hard dilemma for us because we're such high performers. We want that next level all the time. It's hard to stay stagnant. But I think the patience aspect of it is so key. And I mean, patience teaches you so much, Cindy. I hate to admit it, but it really does. You look back and you're like, oh, well, that was a really good lesson, right? But it's hard. It doesn't mean that this is an easy decision. I'm not saying that at all. And don't feel bad if you're struggling with it. That's totally normal human behavior. But I think it's really good to think about these things. And I love what we've talked about today with the seasons where you're at, building upon it, honing your skills, promoting from within, all the things, and taking your time, like taking advantage of the extra time. I mean, I would love to be able to train for an Ironman again, Cindy. First of all, I don't know if my knee would handle it, but like that would be amazing. But I did that back then, not a whole Ironman, but a half Ironman. But my point is, like, I miss that time. I miss that free time. I don't think I have any time like that anymore. So,
Right. But you made time because you wanted to. And I mean, maybe
yeah.
you're into like music. Maybe you played piano as a kid and you can't wait. So you take 30 minutes. If you're in a job that allows you, hey, guess what? 30 minutes
Oh my
every day
gosh.
before I go pick up my kids, I can play the piano. That may bring you so much joy and relaxation that you could do your job better. Because as women, we need to be happy. We need to be our best. And whatever it is that fuels you. Yes. I mean, clearly we are career driven. This podcast is about a career and about making your career the best. But again, a message I want you guys to hear from both Lisa and me is we want you to work to live. We're not out here to tell you to live to work, but it can be such a great part of your life and it can give you so much back. I want you to know it's okay if you don't have everything all at the same time. And to remember this, that timing matters just as much as opportunity does. So, a
I love it.
challenge for this week. Here's a week challenge for you. I want you to write down one thing that you can do this month to make the current job you're in more purposeful, more impactful, even if it's just temporary. And then ask yourself later, like, does this make me feel better? So I think that kind of sums up a
I love
lot of,
that.
yeah, a lot
I
of what we
love that. I love that. And I think the other thing is if you guys know someone, maybe you're not in this situation, but you know someone that is struggling with it, send them this episode. Let them listen to it and let it empower them to know that they are still in the right place. Timing is everything. And sometimes being patient means waiting until the season is better and the season changes.
absolutely. So for all of you women out there, if you're standing still for now, promise us you will stand proud.